News. Turkish Airlines granted us an airplane to fly to Somalia.
San Francisco quarterback. I'm sure nobody ever heard of him.
So we can fly there with food, with water for these people.
NFL owners don't want to pick them up because they don't want to get a nasty tweet from Donald Trump.
This is a victory for the people. This is a victory for the people of Somalia. Done out of love, out of respect for these people.
At this point, there are countless reasons why we Scots refer to him as President Bawbag. But just in case you were running out, he gave us another at his latest rally. While speaking at a crowd of supporters in Kentucky, the Orange one didn't address things such as Comey's hearing, why he won't drop his fictional wiretapping accusation, or why he has spent more time in the past 10 weeks playing golf than all the Lukes, Brians and Bretts in America put together. But instead, took the opportunity to threaten NFL teams considering signing Colin Kaepernick. You know Kaepernick, right? I've talked about him before. He's the guy who announced via a video on Saturday that Turkish Airlines agreed to provide a 60-ton cargo plane to fly much-needed supplies of food and water to the people of Somalia who are suffering from the effects of a devastating drought that has destroyed crops and livestock. You know, the same guy who complimented that gesture by donating his own money to a GoFundMe page to allow anyone to contribute to the effort that, within 48 hours, had raised close to $2 million. You know, the same guy who, despite spending the majority of his time raising or donating his own funds to marginalized groups in America, or holding seminars for his grassroots youth program, and pursuing what seems to be a lost cause in finding a new NFL team, was still concerned about the plight of the Somali people and wanted to help. You see, taking that all into consideration, you would think that the President of the United States would celebrate a professional athlete who monitors the goings-on in a foreign country on the edge of a catastrophic famine that threatens half the population and who has raised mountainous amounts of money to help address the situation. Why, the President might even hold that athlete up as an example for others to emulate and to encourage others to be as active. But no. Not this president. This smarmy man-child instead tarnishes the man and uses his time to send a message to NFL owners.
I'm just reporting the news.
And don't even get me started on those NFL owners. What? Signing a player who exercised his First Amendment right to protest is a stretch, but you'll sign domestic abusers as long as they abide by your version of the Constitution? Give me a fucking break. I guess in the NFL, the only crime worse than murdering someone is standing up for black lives. I seriously didn't think that Sergeant Longtie or the NFL could get much worse in regards to their selective outrage. But with this collective act of cowardice, they've really outdone themselves. While tiny countries like Malaysia are sending troops with food and aid to Somalia, the United States has done jack shit despite the US's nearly $600 billion military budget. Instead, US media attention and Somalia support are being driven by an NFL player. And Trump can't even acknowledge the effort during his fact-free, grammatically juvenile, empty speech. What a horrendous president, leader and human being you really are, Donald Trump. Seriously, mate, with every day that passes, you find new ways to sink lower than the standards of any girl crazy enough to have given you the time of day. Thousands upon thousands of Somali lives may be spared as a result of Kaepernick's kindness. And all you can do is insult him to rile up your fellow deplorables? What the fuck have you done for anyone other than yourself? Because you certainly are not doing your part to help them, or better yet, anyone you claim to be fighting for during your campaign. What about those struggling, overlooked Americans you vowed to pay attention to? The middle class.
We are going to be cutting taxes massively for both the middle class and for companies.
Yeah, how are those tax cuts for the 1% working out? Not as planned, huh? What about your health insurance plan that was going to cover everyone? Yeah, I know, it's complicated, right?
Nobody knew that healthcare could be so complicated.
Okay, here's a thought, Donnie. Maybe you could have used your speech to clear the air about why you and many in your administration spent so much time, in between golf rounds of course, condemning Hillary for being under investigation, all while being under investigation yourself.
That includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government.
Or how about, rather than make smarmy jokes at Kaepernick's expense, you address one of the 1,000 empty promises you have yet to deliver on and save your insults for someone who didn't recently raise $1 million to feed starving children,
We can help be the change. Let's help save these lives.
who hasn't donated his own money to at-risk youth in America, and who uses his status to help the benefits and minorities of this nation. And maybe, I don't know, if you have to insult someone, which you like to do, you could insult a horrendous shadow of a human being instead. Someone who wants to cut Meals on Wheels and Medicaid. I know the perfect asshole. So if you're as outraged at this as I was, please like and share this video. Follow me on Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell and on Twitter at Francis_Maxwell, and continue to resist.